wherever they like, which, as we saw earlier with Ricky Walden, proved fatal for his young opponent. What an occasion, the youngster, though.
Yeah, that 1-3-2, the second highest ever break in the shootout. We were discussing it, Philip, weren't we? And the highest ever is a Martin Gould break that he made 1-3-5. It's the 13th ever century. It's not easy to make one, but it was a wonderful break. You kind of think that maybe making a century under these conditions is so difficult, and it is, but with the standard of play, we're going to see a few, aren't we? We're going to see a few big breaks, one-sided games. We're going to see some very exciting games, which go all the way down to the last ball. There are quicker players than Michael Judge, has to be said, in the game. You know, he's not slow, but there are more naturally quick players. Hasn't stopped them doing well, the slower players in the past.
That's a good pot from Ford, and he is one of the quicker players on the tour when he gets going. He's made multiple 1-4-7 breaks. Very gifted cueist.
Yes, he's a good player on the back of a defeat. Qualifying over the last few days. Isn't playing in the China Open and lost his match. But here's a chance for all of the players in and out of form to have a good payday. Some of the top players are not in it, but very few of the lower ranked players are not entered because they know it's a chance for them.
Yes, and there are 4 players who could yet qualify for the Players' Championship in Preston next month, were they to win the tournament. Martin O'Donnell, Noppon Sankam, Zhao Guodong and Zhao Jintong could all theoretically get into the Players' Championship.
Yeah, and they would, of course, if they did do that, replace Steve Maguire. And he, for whatever reason, is not playing here. I wonder if he wishes he'd played in it now, because, like you say, it's in his own hands if he's here. It's out of his hands if one of those guys wins.
20.
Anyway, this is a good start from Tom Ford. And like you say, he's a very good player with good cue ball control when he's playing well.
21.
At the moment, he's in command. Just that he's at the table, scoring. And he doesn't look overly rushed.
No, that's the thing. Actually, 15 seconds is perhaps longer than it sounds for each shot. Of course, it goes down to 10 seconds after
23.
5 minutes have elapsed. The final 5 minutes, just 10 seconds a shot. But it's actually a decent amount of time, and I guess the key is to just not be rushed. Terrific pot again.
Yeah, very good pot. I think you might start off a shootout match by saying now is not the time to panic. But that does not say you won't start panicking with a couple of minutes to go. Just feel as if he's running out of position here now. Where's his next pot coming from? Of course, he doesn't have to pot one. I thought our last winner, Ali Carter, played very sensibly. When the break came to an end, he allowed it to end. And kept his opponent out. There you see, he's playing cue ball onto 2 cushions. You're allowed to play safe at this game, and if you know what you're doing, if you've got a snooker brain. Oh, he's starting to run short of time here. I think Michael Judge is going to struggle over the last 5 minutes. Playing with even less time allowed, 10 seconds, like you say.
10-second shot clock, now in operation.
That's the confirmation. Ford already in a nice position with that handy little lead. There's another very good pot to get himself back in. Now then, has he done any damage?
Well, there was an argument there. Tom Ford not to go for that green. Gets pushed out of the way by Michael Judge.
Yeah, the rules are obviously different and a little more relaxed in this version, but I don't think physical contact is necessarily allowed, but it was all in very good humour.
Well, there's 27 lead. 4 minutes is enough time to make plenty more than that. If you just get a starter, that's what Michael will be looking for here. Now, let's see if he's one of these players who is going to be restricted by the time constraints or kind of makes his mind up for him. Cue ball's close here, very close.
Oh dear, fatal surely. Ball in hand for Tom Ford, he can put it wherever he likes. And already 23 to the good. This looks terminal for Michael Judge.
1.
Yeah, I think it's very powerful, isn't it, to have that ball in hand at your disposal.
8.
Especially with the red spread at this level, it's normally curtains.
9.
Well, the missed green might have been costly for Ford, but that aside, he's looked very composed, potted well. Need to just finish the job here.
16. 17.
'He's noticeably actually slightly slowing down now because he has no need to rush. Not quite like a football team running down the clock, you know, but you can take
25.
a little longer. Use the shot clock to eat into your opponent's allotted time and staying at the table in the process.
And that was frame ball,
30.
barring snookers. So it's going to be Tom Ford, who's controlled the frame right from the get-go. Missing that red isn't going to be costly, I don't think. Snookers required for Michael Judge.
Tom Ford, 30.
He might be back in the bar very soon for a couple more jars. And there's the handshake. Well played, Tom Ford. Some excellent pots, and he built the early lead and never really looked like relinquishing it. So Ford safely through to the round of 64 here at the Watford Coliseum, with plenty more still to come at the shootout. Welcome back to the Watford Coliseum, where we've just seen Michael Judge take on Tom Ford. Judge, a former pro, now an amateur, but Ford pulling rank today with a really good performance. Some excellent long pots early on. He got a shove in the back from his mate, but it didn't put him off. And the fatal in-off, allowing Ford to seal the deal. So here comes...
is ticking, so let's welcome the players. Firstly, the 14-year-old prodigy from Belgium, Ben Mertens, and the former world number 3, James Watanabe.
A generational clash, if ever there was one then, between James Watanabe, one of the best players of his era, twice a World Championship semi-finalist, 3 times a ranking titleist, and still competing on the tour against a very exciting young talent from Belgium. Young Ben Mertens, just 14 years of age. And I know, Neil, that you've heard very good things about him.
Yeah, very good player, I'm told. I know he's got some decent results. He's beaten players like Michael White and Adam Stepanov, players like that. Did so age 13. He was here yesterday, actually. He's the first player.
James Watanabe to break.
At the shootout yesterday afternoon, coming over with his father and his coach from Belgium. Wish him luck, as we do everybody. I know he can play. Whether this is the perfect sort of shop window to see how good he is, but hey, I hope he does well. Nerve-wracking, isn't it? Very short chance to prove yourself. And that's a wonderful part to start with. Very nice.
Well, that should settle any nerves that he has. He's a European under-18 quarter-finalist. Ah, shame.
He's unlucky, actually. Just slightly overcut.
Ben Mertens, 1.
Yeah, I already can see that he's an attacking player. I know I've, as I say, heard plenty about him. Anyway, we've got James Watanabe. Nice to see him back as well. As you said, it's a meeting of 2 players, very different eras in the game, a couple of generations between them. Somebody shouted at 8 minutes to go, Ben. I think we know that. Is that a foul?
It is.
That's a foul.
Foul. Ben Mertens, 5.
Well, that's the shot that you get the foul all the time, where a player plays up the table and nothing hits the cushion. So this is just the sort of chance that Ben wanted here, something early.
1.
The best of shots, actually, to finish there. Interesting, he put himself straight on that red. I don't know why he did that. Good shot. That's a really good shot, actually. Already walking around the table reminds me of a young John Parrott at the same sort of an age. Same sort of similarities. If he becomes as good, of course, he'll do very well out of the game. But he's a nice player. I like his style.
7.
I wonder if Watanabe just forgot the rule there, or just didn't hit his shot as hard as he intended to make sure the ball hit a cushion.
Well, the red just failed, didn't it, to hit the right... You can see where that red is on the right cushion. That's the red that had a chance of hitting the cushion. It's, what is it, a centimetre or so away? Anyway, break ends there. He's stretching.
Ben Mertens,
wasn't
12.
Too costly then for Watanabe. He's still in there with a chance. 7 minutes is a long time.
One gentleman's come dressed for the occasion. Long way off with the red, so another half chance here for Mertens.
It's got the makings of being an edgy one. I got the feeling these two. Nervy encounter. Madonna must hit a cushion. And he's done that with the red and the cue ball. holding up, and that's okay.
1.
Plenty of young fans in today
8.
as well. Plenty of young players taking part.
That was a nervy one, wasn't it? It's very hard, isn't it, to
Ben
come out here
Mertens,
and
8.
you've got 10 minutes to impress. It's not much time, is it?
Yes, and there is the tendency, I think, to rush unnecessarily,
1.
not make the most of that 15 seconds you have in the first half of the match, particularly when you're not used to playing on TV in a situation like this with a big crowd.
Well, James Watana, he's always been a player with a beautiful touch. His long game was never that great for what was undoubtedly a top
8.
player, but in amongst the balls, he's quite a delightful player to watch. Beautiful touches and the way he used to stroke the ball around. He was never
15.
someone that would drill along Reading and clear up against you. He'd do the clearing up, but wouldn't start with anything
10
spectacular.
seconds shot
We're
clock.
seeing that he
Now
still
in
possesses
operation.
that nice silky touch.
Former world number 3, what an art.
23. 24.
Well, that cannon hasn't gone quite as he would have hoped, so thin cut here.
Risky one as well, isn't it? It was a very risky shot. And again, I think we saw Ali Carter show that you don't have to go for a pot. You can lead, but keep your opponent at arm's length. Sometimes you can do that. Not all about crash, bang, wallop.
So, 14-year-old back in. What can he do with this opportunity? He's only 4 points behind. Crowd gradually warming up after a fairly sober start to proceedings. Not sure how sober it's going to become Sunday evening.
5.
Well, this really could be a tight one, isn't it? This match. He's had a couple of these. Not this time. Quick learner.
Just took a little bit of extra time with that shot.
12.
He's a player that's got his own routine. You look at him there, he pumps the cue. You know, he's got to take some time on the shot because that's the way he plays. It's a lovely shot.
That was a terrific shot.
Just had a little bit of check side on that, which he didn't want. He stopped the cue going up
20.
the table very far. And there's still 3 minutes of play here. Long time. And that's a sensible shot. Just looking at James Watana, you know, he had a very good result. If we can talk conventional snooker for a second, trying to open qualifiers, beat Anthony Hamilton 6-3, I think, yesterday. So, he didn't play him badly.
Got a bit lucky there, missing the red by a very long way, but could have left something easier. Cue ball's awkward.
Yeah, the cue ball's running around here a bit. Anyway, it doesn't matter when the pot goes in. That's quite well controlled. Doesn't have to rain himself. And that's the kiss from the gods received there.
What a chance now. 21 in front, the clock running down. Red's open.
Listen, of course, you double your money, 250 quid for being in this. It goes up to 500 and so on. 1,000, 2,000 all the way. Who knows if he could win this match, how much he could make out of the shootout.
Mertens,
But more
14.
importantly, we're getting to see what a good player he is.
Well, he's just opened the door here for Watanabe. There's still enough time. Just open the door here for Watanabe. There's still enough time. 28 the difference. Black to cut.
Somewhere in the middle, is it? Goodness, right in the bottom. Good effort. And we'll be pleased to be back at the table.
Watana, 8.
Doesn't have to go for this. I think he could play this all round the angles. That would be a sensible shot. You've got to push the red up and down the table. Anyway, this is now or never for Watana.
This has got the makings of an exciting finish. Watanabe is running out of time, but there are enough points there. There's nothing safe.
No, absolutely not. He'll need
6.
Up to the pink. Pink is what he needs. He's got 25 seconds. And now, can he hold? This is getting very interesting. Gibble naturally is running away, which eats into your time. He needs brown, blue and pink in 15 seconds to snatch a unlikely victory.
10, 9.
Think he's going to struggle.
And Ben Mertens in the end will be a relieved young man, but it's a great win for him. What an occasion. Watanabe did his best, but just ran out of time. Mertens goes through.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor.
Against James Watanabe.
Now welcome the players for our next match. Firstly, the former World Championship quarter-finalist, Lee Walker, and a quarter-finalist in last week's Welsh Open, Kurt Mifflin.
Now, this is going to be interesting because Lee Walker, as we know, Neil, is not known for being lightning quick around the table.
I think that's an understatement. He's actually the slowest player on the tour on the average shot times for the season.
Lee Walker wins the lap.
Flynn, Londoner by birth, but based in Oslo in Norway. His wife Anita is Norwegian. She's also a player in her own right.
Yes, I think some players do really struggle to think quickly, if you know what I'm saying. And I think Walker will struggle. We'll see. It will be interesting to find out whether he can play quicker. If, of course, he gets the chance, because you're looking at somebody who could go on and win the thing here, this Kurt Mifflin, very fine player. who we've seen in action in Cardiff last week, played some good snooker there. Looked like he was about to beat Neil Robertson.
No shortage of fans for Lee Walker. He's going to have to stand this one out at the moment. No seats here, of course, for the players.
Yes, he was 3-0 up on Neil Robertson in the quarterfinals last week in Cardiff. Came back and won the match 5-4, the Australian. But there's no doubt that Kurt Maffin is a very, very good player. Mr. Black off the spot. Commentator's curse, perhaps.
Yeah, he didn't put a foot wrong, did he, in the first 3 frames against Robertson? He played outstandingly well.
Lee Walker's got his own drill, which he needs for every shot, but the drill's going to have to go out the window today. Have to point the cue and hit the ball. See ball, hit ball. This is the equipment time. We've got to get all the gear out of here.
6.
I've never seen him move so quickly as he scurried underneath that table there.
Was a World Championship quarter-finalist way back in 1997. Beat our own Alan McManus
7.
to get to the last 8.
Do you know, I don't remember him being as slow then as he is now. Really nice guy, like Lee. He's done a lot of coaching in the game. He takes it in good grace that he knows he's slow. But he's a very good player.
Practices regularly, of course, with good friend Mark Williams. He's a WPBSA coach.
Lee Walker, 12.
Not particularly near it, was he, in the end? That was a good recovery from that earlier. Black off the spot. Got that red was even more difficult.
Well, the crowd are definitely warming up.
3.
This is the 7th match of the day.
You get a bit lively on the evening sessions. People enjoy a couple of drinks, I'd say. Only a couple. Very nice shot. He deserves to be on one for how well he's played it. I'm not sure he is. Amazing game we've just seen that previous match, wasn't it? Chaz Watana just so close. Literally need one more second.